Hi Stitchy friends, welcome back to my Flosstube. My name is Kim. I'm the 303 Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, watched my whip parade. There's been a lot of new subscribers since the last time that I was here about a month ago. Today is August 8th, 2026. So it's been, I think, about a month since I did my mid-year whip parade. And there's been a lot of new people who have come and joined my little corner of the world where I talk about cross stitch. I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. I really appreciate it. And also thank you to everyone who has been here since the beginning or anywhere along the way. I have a July update for you all. And I hope that you have something to drink, maybe you're stitching, and we will get into it. I'm going to be looking around, I'm going to be reaching around. I'm actually recording at my dining room table today because my wife is traveling. She's just spent a week in Hong Kong and is actually on her way home. So I get to record out here. You can see our little world travel map back behind me that we put push pins in, and we have different colors, like if we went as a family or if we went individually or just Jess and I or just the kids. So yeah, it's really fun. It was a Christmas gift. I have notes everywhere. So I have my tablet out. I'm going to show you guys really quick. Found this new tracker, and I guess it's on Etsy, and I did pay for it, but it's not super expensive. But y'all, look at all of these stats. Stats on stats on stats. I love it. It is, I just showed it to Jade, the 310 stitcher, and she went and bought it too, but that just makes my brain happy. So I have notes over here that are a little bit more specific, but then I also have like my notebook too, just to guys kind of deep dive a little bit further into the stats. I know some people really like those. So I worked on, I don't know if you guys saw the little sneaky peeky preview there, but I had an amazing July. It was my best month by far. There were a couple of reasons for that. I actually had some time off. I did for the first time ever, which makes me sad that I didn't find this sooner, but the Black Needle Society hosted Frogwarts, and it was year 7. So actually it was the last year. Next year will be virtual, and I think it's going to be like the reunion for year 8. And then after that, they're going to be doing something different. And I believe rumor on the playground, I think it's confirmed. I think I can say this, is it's going to be the Hunger Games. So, it was a fast and furious retreat. It was virtual. It was 5 days, y'all. And they had so many events. It was almost like you were in a stitching challenge almost every hour. And it started usually around 8 a.m. my time. I'm in Denver, Colorado, so I'm in mountain time. It started around 8 a.m. my time and then went until about 11 midnight my time. A lot of sleep was lost, but a lot of stitches were had, and it was a lot of fun. I met some really cool people, and I have some haul at the end of this to show y'all, but yeah, that's kind of what helped my July stats. So in total, I did 21,497 stitches. It says my best day was 1,856. I started one new project. I worked on a total of 11 projects. I stitched for 89 hours and 13 minutes. And I stitched for 29 days. I needed a break after Frogwarts, so I took a day off there were 2 days in there that I guess I didn't really stitch, but that's okay. It happens, and sometimes we need a little bit of a break. So let's just kind of jump into projects. They are scattered all over, so sorry. I tried to organize them as best as I could. My first project is gonna be Saga. So, and sorry about my poor cover photo. So this is Saga, and what Saga will look like. This is by Long Dog Sampler. And am doing this on, I think, oh, I still have the tag. Look at me. This is, the color is Dusty Cottage. This is a 28 count Lugana by Be Stitch Me, and I'm stitching it 1/1. And that is where I am. So I actually have reached all the way across the first portal. And as you can see, I've started kind of stitching down into the next portal. So I have the first row finish on portals. I am stitching this with a Silks for You. I think it's PR 207. So it's that really pretty kind of, yeah, it's coming out kind of pretty true to color, pretty blue color. So this one's a lot of fun to stitch on. When I sit and focus on it, I can rip out a whole bunch of stitches. And I didn't even tell you guys how many I did. We're starting off great today. So for Saga, I stitched on this for 2 days, and I got a total of 2,059 stitches. So for Saga, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to toss that for right now. For Saga, it has a total of 116,854 stitches. And so I have not fully entered my stitching stats for that one. So I actually don't have a complete total for you. I just looked down and noticed that it says that my complete total was the number of stitches that I did for it, for that event. So I will come back next time because I am going to work on that this month. So I will come back next time with full stats for y'all. Actually, I could probably get it. Let me see. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't delete it. Just going to open it up on markup since I have my tablet right here and just go ahead and see what it says is the total that I have so far into it. Total marked stitches is going to be 13,393 out of that 116,584. So that is at 11.49% complete. The next one that I have is Chimera. This is Chimera Black Rose Max Color. This is my first ever Hate. I started it about 5 years ago. So I first initially started stitching and using Pattern Keeper. And then I went to markup. So I don't have the exact date of when this started. That is one thing that I really like about markup versus Pattern Keeper, is that it tells you the day that you first started marking up the pattern. So basically when you started it. And so some of my older patterns, unfortunately, just don't have the exact date. So I know I started it right around when I graduated with my master's. And so that was about 5 years ago. So this is by Lori, artwork is by Lori Prindle. This is what it will look like when it's done. This one I had grand plans, and I think I mentioned this in my whip parade, but I was planning on finishing this one this year because it's for my daughter. And then my daughter now is like going to be a junior in a couple of weeks, and she's kind of like, eh. And so I'm still going to finish it because I still really love the pattern. But I'm like, if she's about it, I'm not going to rush to get it done before her high school graduation. And it'll probably end up just being one of mine that I frame and put on the wall anyway. So, I'm not going to take this out of the Q-Snap because I didn't do much. I worked on this for 1 day and I got a total of 264 stitches. So that is, all I did was work on the eye. The prompt for the stitching challenge was work on something with an eye. So that was kind of the area that I worked in, was just filling in her eye. So that is Chimera. She has a total of 250,000 stitches or 250,425 stitches. I have completed 111,955. So that is good for 44.71%. The next one that I worked on, I told y'all I have my notebook, so I just got to flip my page here. The next one that I worked on is Vote As If. So this is a sal that was a few years ago by the Notorious Needle. I believe it's still available. You just had to go in and make a donation. Can't remember to where. And then they show proof that you made the donation and they send you the pattern. I've had some friends that have stitched on this and completed it, and that's kind of how I found this. So this is, apparently I don't have the cover photo, but I will, oh, I do actually think I do have the cover photo. Hold please. Okay, so I thought that I had printed it before I started recording and went to go grab it off the printer and it's not there. So here it is on my tablet. So that is the Vote As If sal, and this one I am doing on this was a Friday Night Fight Night by Be Stitch Me. This was one of her fabrics. I actually ended up grabbing a bunch of these because I really liked them. This was a while back, so I don't know if she has them anymore or not, but this is a, it's called Gray Magic, and I think this is a 32, and I'm stitching it over to 2/2 with all the called for DMC. So this one I know for a fact I worked in a lot. So this one actually got 1,038 stitches, which is 11% of the total project. There is a total of 9,683 stitches in this project, and I am at 8,163, so that is good for 84.3%. And I have pretty much made it all the way down to the bottom, so there's just this little corner still here. Sorry, I didn't take it out of the Q-snap because I figure y'all can see it. So there's just this area, these lines here to fill in, and then just I think that pattern at the top repeats at the bottom where that pink is at. So that will be it. I have, I think, just over, I can't math, but it's not much. I want to say it's under 2,000. I know it's under 2,000 stitches. So yeah, it's like probably about 1,500 stitches if I'm looking at my math, and roughly. So this one, I have a feeling once I get my 26 for 26 done, this was on my 26 for 26, so it's 26 projects doing 2,026 stitches on each project. This was on there, which is why for this year I think I have just over 2,000 stitches on this, something like that. So that is this one. This one's a lot of fun to stitch. Like I said, I love that fabric, and I'm gonna have extras, so I'm really excited that I get to chop it, and I'm gonna put this Q-snap back on so I don't forget about it, so I can find another small project that I can pop on there. So that is Vote As If, and that one I worked on for, it says one day, just one day. So the next one is pretty exciting. I will also pull this up in my drive so you can see it. This is, because I don't have a full cover photo for it, but I mean, I think everybody has seen it. This is Glistening Wings. This is the Haid 2026 sal, and that's what it will look like when it's done. This one I am working on getting 6 pages done, 6 full pages done before the end of the year, so I can get the other patterns. There are some of the other patterns that I've seen fully stitched. I really wanted the Wise and the Brave and then the Dandelion one, but actually there are a couple of other ones in there that I've seen fully stitched now, like the Cottage, I think, Stone Cottage Keep, I think is what it is, that are really pretty, and I kind of want, I'm like, I might actually stitch those. However, here's where we are with Glistening Wings. And I made it all the way across the top page, the top row of pages. So really there's only actually, so the next row of pages, and then there's a third row, but they're all like partial, super short. So I think I'm just gonna stitch it all the way down and just finish it out. So yeah, so I made it all the way across. I didn't tell you, most of my projects are stitched on 25 count 1/1 full cross. That is my sweet spot. There are some that I will show you that are not. And I will let you know when those are different. But yeah, and I use DMC, so 25 count, easy guide the gunna. I love stitching on this one. I do need to tell you, I did actually put in about 500 stitches on it already this month. I picked it up last night for the first time this month, and I stitched down in there. So that is Glistening Wings. I worked on that for a total of 9 times. It was my most touched project in July, reasonably so, because I wanted to get all those pages done. That last end page is a partial page, so that doesn't count. So I still have 2 pages that I need to finish before the end of the year. And I'm averaging, well, you'll see. So for last month, I worked on it for 9 days, and I did a total of 6,932 stitches. So a Haid page is about just over 7,000 stitches, I think is what these are. So I'm averaging about a page a month right now. So I think it's doable. I think I will definitely get the 6 pages done before the end of the year. That actually also said that that was an 8% increase in the project from where I was, so I'll take it. So Glistening Wings has a total of 87,020 stitches. I am sitting at a total of 37,784, which is good for 43.42%. The next project was my new start that I was really excited to start. This is, sorry about Alexa. I know everybody is doing this, and I will actually insert a picture here somewhere of what it's gonna look like, just because the print doesn't do it justice. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm gonna insert a picture. Hold on. I'm just gonna pull it up on my tablet so I can zoom in for you all. This is the Supersize Max Color left side of Library of Dogs. I am doing both panels, and I am doing it on the same piece of fabric. So here is, well, maybe if I don't drop my tablet, the left panel. So there was a reason. So I was going back and forth on, do I just do one panel? Because the whole entire reason why I'm doing this, yes, there's a black lab in this, which is great. We have a charcoal lab. She's neurotic, but we still love her. However, the main reason why I'm doing this project and what drew me to this project initially, because I do have just the regular full size Supersize Max Color before they split it, is there's a Great Dane right there in those sunflowers. And y'all know I have a Great Dane. So, and it's so hard. There's hardly any there's so many dogs out there of Goldens and all kinds of other dogs, but nobody ever charts Great Danes. So I saw that and immediately bought it. However, the reason why I went back and forth on I am doing both panels. The first is just the one with the Great Dane in it. I mean, this thing is huge. It is going to be a total of 1,392,606 stitches. I don't know when I'm ever going to finish this, if ever. I need to go find the Fountain of Youth or something. But I decided to do both because this drove me nuts. And I'm going to zoom in, and it's going to get a little bit blurry, but you'll be able to see why. So do you see that bottom corner where it splits, where she splits it? Y'all, it's a half a dog. It's a half a corgi. I looked at the full chart and I'm like, why? Why did she split a dog in half? Why wouldn't you find a perfect, if you're going to do it where people want to stitch only one part, why would you cut it off in the middle of a dog? I just feel that leaves it unfinished. My brain just didn't let me do it. And so unfortunately, I bought both because my brain would not let me. So this piece of fabric is like a blanket. It is 28 count. So I'm not really liking, I'm doing a couple other supersize max colors on 32 over 1/1. Not really liking it. I'm not liking how the stitches are sitting. I'm going to finish it just because I'm committed at this point in time, but I decided to go with 28 and I actually like it so far. So I've seen some other people working on this and I've actually seen one of the dogs already finished. It looks good, y'all. It looks really good, especially compared to what I've seen on Library of Cats. No hate for anybody doing Library of Cats, but I think that first cat is just really blurry still. And I'm sure I'm probably going to come into this project and be like, ugh, there's going to be like a dog that is probably blurry and doesn't look like a dog. But this is where we are. Like, those book lines are smooth and you can really see that those are books. Like, I don't know. So, yeah, that is, I need to work. I need to pull this out more often because this is going to end up, I'll go over plans in a little while. I'll go over plans in a bit. So yeah, so I have, and I have it folded on itself. It just keeps going and going and going and going. And then I have it clamped right there with one of those like beach towel crew, whatever holder things. So this one, I'm calling it the super size max color Library of Dogs. It is charted by Heaven Designs. It is designed by Amy Stewart. I worked on that for a total of 3 days. I got a total of 1,603 stitches. And we are at I told you the total is basically 1.3, almost 1.4 million stitches. We are at 0.12%. And I started that on July 9th. I forgot to tell y'all that Glistening Wings was my new year, new start. So I started that on January 1st. I have them all written down. I'm just not telling you, apparently. So yeah, so that was my new start for the month. Sneak peek is I actually have 2 new starts for August already. Can't wait to show you that next month. So then the next project that I have is it's the Supersize Max Color US Traveler Bookshelf. This one is by Amy Stewart, charted by Hayde. This is one of those that I'm doing on 32 count. This is, if it's in a fancy bag, I'll show you. It's in a fancy bag. It's pretty. This is what it's gonna look like when it's done. So this one, I actually kind of unlocked a little secret on this one actually, and was finding myself actually enjoying stitching on this one for once. I was actually thinking about UFOing this, and then I kind of got it into a groove and I decided maybe I won't UFO it. It just won't be a focus, and that's okay. I love the shelf because it has like so many of the books that are, and I explain this in my whip parade, but so many of the books that are facing out are places that I've lived or traveled to or have really great memories of. And so, ta-da. So that's why I fell in love with this project. So what did I do? I actually worked a lot in the first page. I was just willy-nilly taking a color, going all over inside the cute, kind of like that. This is the first shelf. And that first like slot in the shelf. I'll show it to you. You can see. There it is. And the icicles are so confetti heavy. I mean, it's all really confetti heavy to be honest, which is why I wasn't enjoying it. But I just took the first page and kind of started stitching it in the typewriter method in a way that I would just grab a color, whatever was there, and then I would stitch it wherever within that first page. And that helped a lot. So on this one, I stitched on this one for 9 days. So this actually tied Glistening Wings. Time-wise, I don't think I spent as much time, like hour-wise, as I did on Glistening Wings. I take that back. I actually did work on this the most. I did the most progress stitches on glistening wings, but this one actually I did more time on, probably just because of the confetti. But I did a total of 2,963 stitches. Again, this one was on my 26 for 26, but I didn't want to put it down, so I just kept going with it. And so that brings us to complete total right now in this project is 12,919 stitches out of 713,286. That is good for 1.81%. Also a lot of fabric. That's why I started on 32. This was like I think this was my first supersize max color start. So some things were learned. I'm just gonna put this back into the bag. If it has a bag, I have like the zipper bags that are all on the floor right now, but if it has a cloth bag, I'm just gonna put it away really quick. All right, we're getting there. What was next? Winter Bonfire Night. This is by Flosstube. This is a max color, and this was charted by Hade. US Traveler Bookshelf. It says that I started on May 5th of 2024. So there you go. Winter Bonfire Night, I started on May 4th of 2025, and this is what that will look like when it's done. I started this one with Jade, the 310 stitcher. I think we started it in our Monopoly when we were back playing last spring. This one I know I did for a stitching challenge. I think it was like work on something with a flame or work on something with blue light. I don't remember which one. But Winter Bonfire Night got a total of, oh no, I must have used it for both of them because it has two sessions. And so I got a total of 1,353 stitches. Where did the project go? I also didn't take this out of the Q-snap. Again, it's all within the Q-snap so you can see it. So I had started doing this diagonals. Realized that's not really my jam. I actually kind of am liking the typewriter method that Stitching Mommy started, and the Max Color Stitcher, and I've kind of taken it and adopted it. I think I do more like Stitching Mommy if I remember watching her video, to where I just take the color wherever it pops up at in that 10 by 10 block, but then I just stitch it out. So I don't like parking at all. This was from my previous parking days. I just didn't stitch this in. But I'm not a big fan of parking. I used to be, but it just gets, for me, that it turns the back messy. I just can't, like I end up getting knots and just loops and stuff all over in the back. And it gets confusing sometimes. So I don't really like it. It's not my favorite. So I worked in, I believe, this green here and started to kind of fill it in and bring it down. And this one is done on a 25 count easy guide. 1/1. And if I didn't tell you already, so that one has a total of 3,693 stitches out of 349,987. So I'm at 1.06% on that one. The next project that I have is Gertrude. So Gertrude was my birthday start. So I started her on March 6th of this year. And she is a total of 119,999. I'm like, one stitch, just one stitch off to be a nice even number. So she has a total of 1,110 stitches. So we're sitting at a 0.93% on her. I worked on her once. I think it was work on something with a dragon is what the Frogwarts prompt was. And I did a total of 505 stitches on her. So this is what she's going to look like when she's done. This is by Stitches So Beautiful. I love their patterns, and she is the max size, max color, because I mean, look at her. She's just so cute. So here, let me turn her around in her right orientation here. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah. So there she is. I just, again, was kind of working on the kind of a typewriter method. So I just I'm following it across and down. So grabbing colors, filling it in. I think I filled in a lot of these like purpley colors here. So that's Gertrude. She's a lot of fun. Yeah, she for sure is going to be one that is going to get done. Grab my sip of water here. We're getting there, y'all. We got 3 more to go. All right. The next one, everyone is working on this. Like, not even gonna lie, everyone got Dawn Marie DM's Crafty Vortex. Congratulations on your retirement, Dawn Marie. And we have Jen the Caffeinated Crafter is working on this. I believe Sisky Stitches is working on this. I know Jade the 310 Stitcher is working on this because we started it together. Yeah, there's a lot of us that is working on this, and I just can't remember everybody off the top of my head. So it's 6 portals, and if you haven't seen it already, here's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is by Rose Catherine Kahn, and it's charted by Pain Free Crafts. This is my first and only Pain Free Crafts that I have right now, but her charting's really, really good. So yeah, so that's what it's going to look like when it's done. Everyone's doing something different with this project, which I love seeing. I'm just stitching in Portal 1. So, and I'm doing this one on, I think this is a 32 count. Maybe? I'm guessing it's a 32 count. Again, a big blanket of fabric. So I'm just working in Portal 1 because it's what fits in a Q-snap. So I stitch on my couch. I have a lap frame that holds my Q-snap, and this is an 8x11, and it's perfect. So I stitched in a lot of like the browns in here. Yeah. And I will continue to stitch it. I'm not just going to stitch like the frame of it and go from there. It's just, this is the area that I was focusing on. I worked on this for 2 days. I did 625 stitches total. And so for now, 6 portals has a total stitch count of 964,800. And I'm at 3,245, which is a 0.34%. It's going to take forever. It's okay. I will tell you, this is not going to be a priority for me. I love it. I do. I mean, I love the colors. I love like the dragons and stuff in it. But it's not going to be, this isn't like one of those projects that if I don't finish it in this lifetime, that's okay. I just enjoy stitching on it for now, and we'll just see how far we get. The next one I did was Sea Turtle. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio, which, as you all know by now, they have retired. So it is now available on Pain Free Crafts. And yeah, so this is Sea Turtle. It's just so cute. It's like a smiling sea turtle. How can you not love that? Oh, I started 6 portals in January, on January 3rd, 2026. Okay. Sea Turtle, I started on December 21st of 2024. And I have a total of 16,000 stitches out of 202,125. So that is 7.92%. And I did take it out of the Q-snap. And that's where we are. All background. So it's just literally like blues and like 939, 823, and then a couple of like teal colors popped in there for fun. And this one I most definitely am doing kind of like that, as I mentioned, like that typewriter method, going across here. I don't remember how many squares I went across, 3 or 4, and then down. So just stitching that thread out. This is officially, you can probably tell, halfway across. So I'm halfway across the top. Yeah. I do think that if I keep stitching that way, and you can tell I'm doing rows and kind of, I don't know, 2 rows at a time, maybe 3, something like that. I do know that I should eventually get into the turtle's head. So it probably won't be until I get closer to the end, but if I'm stitching across, I should, I think, get into the turtle's head at some point, which would be exciting because it's a lot of blue. And you'll notice a pattern with my next one. So let me put this one and fold this up and put it away. At least tuck it away for right now. So it makes the cleanup a little bit easier. All right. Last but not least is another Stitch Is So Beautiful pattern. This is Starry Starry Gnome. Do you notice that pattern? Do you see what stands out to you? What stands out to me? All the dark colors. For some reason, I'm just really drawn to these like dark patterns, like that have a lot of like blues and stuff in them. I don't know, but Starry Starry Gnome. It's so cute. I have a lot of their other patterns that I really need to, that I want to start. However, I'll talk about that in plans. So this one I initially was actually doing all of the 9, I think it's 939, 823, one of the 2 blues. I was gonna do it and color complete it, and then I realized that it doesn't really line up that great to do that. There's a lot of gaps and stuff, so I just started filling it in because I can do what I want, and that's where we are. So it looks so good. You can even see like this is the start of that kind of like the smoke coming from, like the steam coming from the coffee cup. And that tree. Yeah, this one looks so good. When I was stitching it and like stepped back and looked at it, I was like, oh, this is so good. This is, I think, another 25 count. Might be 28. I think it's 25. 1/1. Yeah. I like this one. This one will probably come out more in the winter. This is kind of a wintry theme. That one I worked on, and that one also was in my 26 for 26. A lot of these were. So let's see. Starry Starry Gnome got 4 sessions, and I did a total of 2,057 stitches on it. And that's actually good for 1%. So Starry Starry Gnome, I started on August 7th of 2025. It has a total of 160,000 stitches. Thank you for adding the 1. Appreciate you. To make that nice and even. My brain is happy with that. And I have a total of 5,055 stitches, which is good for 3.16%. I also just realized I didn't actually tell you guys. I showed you and talked about sea turtle, but I did not tell you how much I did on sea turtle. So sea turtle, I worked on for 5 sessions, and I did a total of 2,098 stitches, which is actually 1% of the project. So I feel like we did pretty good. Yeah, I think that's it for stitching. So like for actual projects and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great month. I don't know that I will have another month like that in a while. I don't have any time off coming up and no retreats or anything like that. I'm not gonna turn off my tablet because I'm gonna keep this out for part of haul. And yeah, that's kind of where we are. I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna grab another sip of water. I'm gonna kind of clean up a little bit, and we'll come back and talk about haul. See you in 2 seconds. Okay, so while I was stepped away, even though you all don't know I was stepped away, I remembered I missed a project. It's because it's a paper pattern, and so it's not in my digital infos. I started another project. So I did start 2 this month in July. So Julie, stitching at the cabin, and Colette, the highway stitcher, and I started a project. So Colette a while ago did a kit parade, and she showed this project, and I immediately messaged Julie and Colette and was like, thank you, Colette, for enabling me, and this just added to my 1-2-3 stitch cart and is on the way. And Julie said, oh my gosh, me too. So we were waiting for Colette to finish her one of her patriotic, I think it was her flag. She asked us if we could wait to start it until she finished that, because she really wanted to get that done in July or around July, and she really wanted to focus on that, and we said sure. And fun fact, the water lily is actually the birth flower of the month of July. So we actually started this in July. And this is by Letty Stitch. And it's called Water Lily. You can see the number down here if anybody wanted to join in with us. It's so pretty, and it comes with everything. So it comes with the fabric, the floss, all of the things. And I emailed them. If you email them and their customer service and let them know that you have the kit, like send them proof, they'll send you a PDF. So I don't remember if they have a saga pattern or not, but they only sent it to me PDF because I use markup. So yeah, so I started this with Colette and Julie. So for me, if you haven't watched Julie, go watch Julie and Colette, honestly, both of them. But Julie's family has been going through some stuff lately, especially her sister. And so, so her sister, I basically started this. I was talking with Julie, and I was like, I'm going to stitch this to send some positive juju into the universe for your sister and everything that she's going through right now. So, that is my little start. I have no idea how many stitches I've done. It's probably a couple hundred. I'd have to dig into Notion, but like I said, I'm transferring over to using that other one, so I haven't put in any of my paper charts into there yet. But this is a 16 count Ada, y'all. You've been here with me for a while. I am not an Ada stitcher. This is so stiff. It's not my favorite to work on. And the margins are pretty small. I can't wait to kind of get across the top so I can at least bring it down a little bit so it can hold the fabric better. These are the Nerge Q-snap thingies that they just started coming out with. They're okay. I like them that they're expandable. So I have like Glistening Wings is on one that is longer. I think it's like an 8x15 because I use the extensions. It's okay. I think that sometimes the fabric slips, which is not what I'm used to with Nerge. I don't really like their hoops because I feel like it can sometimes mess with like the fabric because of the way that they go on. They're so tight, which is why I wanted to try these. Some hold better than others. So yeah, I don't really notice a big difference between this and Q-snap other than the fact that these are a little bit more versatile and expandable. And lighter, to be honest. So that is the Water Lily. Okay, now we'll talk plans, and then we'll do haul. So plans. I'm going to finish my 26 for 26. So when looking at my 26 for 26 folder, I'll kind of give you guys a preview of where we are. Maybe. It's not really popping up too great. However, Vote As If was my number 22. So I have 5 to go. The reason why I say 5 is because Glistening Wings was on here, and I have stitched on it and definitely done more than 2026 stitches for this particular challenge in the fandom stitching challenge that I'm doing this for. I've used all of my stitches so far for my yearly challenge. I wanted to get that done first, and then I'll do the 2000 stitches. Just that way, for my brain's purposes, I can, because it's every 2000 stitches. So I don't want to get confused about where I am with my yearly versus the 26 for 26. So I'll do it eventually before the end of the year. So the 4 that I have left is Waterhole Master. Here, I'll just pull up pictures so y'all can see. So Waterhole Master. So I'm about halfway through Waterhole Master right now. Again, this one I was starting to do kind of like all of the black, and then I just said, not really my jam. So I started filling it in. So that'll be out. You'll see it in a couple weeks. The next one that I have is Welcome to the North Pole. This is by Primrose Cottage. And then I have Winter Bonfire Nights, which you just saw, and 6 Portals, which you just saw. So that will be it for 26 for 26. I'm hoping, so I'm averaging about, if I can really get into it, I can finish one in a week. Usually a couple of days, depending on how much confetti there is. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to have that done by the end of this month, maybe. We'll see. After that, I don't have big plans. Like, I might just put stuff on a wheel, like what Stitching with Mel and Anne does, and some other people are doing it as well, and just spin the wheel and see what happens. I definitely want to focus on some pieces. So I definitely want to focus on the Library of Dogs, just because that's a lot of stitches. I definitely want to focus on one of my new starts that I'm not going to share right now. I'll share it in haul because I started it, but I bought it, so you'll see it in haul. I want to focus on Glistening Wings for sure, getting that one to at least six pages at least. And then, I don't know, we'll see. I really do like how Anne does hers, the Max Color Stitcher, as far as like getting into like 500 or 1,000. Jen's doing that right now too. So maybe I'll work on that, and then next year we'll just spin the wheel. I don't know. We'll see what the rest of the year brings. However, I am getting a little overwhelmed. So tracking is a blessing and a curse, as we all know, as people who are stats people like me. And when looking at all of my projects that I have started, and this is just, remember, in here, I only have like my digital things that I'm doing in markup. I do not have any of my paper charts in here. And there are some that I'm doing, like that one. I have, I'm working on the Fabulous House series. I'm way behind. I think I've only finished like 2. And yeah, so there's definitely some paper patterns that I have scattered in. So this one says I have 18 projects. I have more than 18 projects. And this says that I need, so yeah, here, I'll just show you. So it says I have, out of all of my projects that I've added, ones that I do have one in here I have not started yet, but everything else is started. 8 million stitches, over 8 million stitches. I have 7.8 million left. That's a lot of stitches. I average, trying to see if it tells me. So it says I average about 14,000 stitches a month. There's going to be projects that I am going to most definitely focus on more, that I want finished in this lifetime. That's just how it is. And so we'll see what those are, but, yeah. But then I might just have focus pieces and then spin a wheel and just let the wheel choose after I finish kind of those stitches. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with. What do you think? What should I do? Are there projects that you love that I've showed that you want to see more progress on? I'm always down for being challenged by someone. I'm always down for doing a stitching challenge with someone if you have the same project, or if you want to get work on a project and challenge me to get work on a project and we have different projects, I'm in for that. Just leave me a comment or message me on Instagram. I'm open to that too. So those are my plans. I also think I was talking to Jade about this yesterday. Jade, I think, right? I need to stop starting stuff. Like, I need to stop starting like ginormous projects, and work on what I have. And because I have more than enough. And the problem is everybody keeps starting things that I absolutely love. And I'm like, I need that. And I need that. And I need that. As we all know, buying patterns and stitching are two separate hobbies. So I think what I'm going to try to do is that for the big projects that I actually want to start in my lifetime and that I want to work on, which I'm realizing is more like a progress stitcher versus or process stitcher versus a progress stitcher, which is fine. I think I'm going to try to start those by the end of this year. I have fabric for them, and I think that's what we're going to do. There's definitely one giant one, like a supersize max color, that I will be starting. And then there's a couple of smaller full coverage ones. And I say that because they're not supersize max color. So I think that's it for the stitching stuff, actually, like stitching stuff. I will go into haul. I will go into life. So if you want to stick around for haul and life, great. If not, and you're just here to see stitching stuff, talk about plans, and maybe throw a challenge or two my way, I will see you in the next video, and I really appreciate y'all being here. So let's recap. Frog Wars was amazing, and I got enabled hardcore. So I was on Team Hufflepuff. Yay, Hufflepuffs. Holler to all my Hufflepuffs, anybody watching me. And they did stash dives. They did door prizes. We did all kinds of stuff. And so I will show you what I bought when I was watching like the giveaways and stuff like that. I bought 2 of these. These are the Cottage Garden threads, I think it is. And they are the Under the Waves or Beneath the Waves palette. I'm not going to take them out of the packaging. Here, that actually looks better. They're so pretty. I bought 2 of these because a whole bunch of designers got together and made a whole bunch of patterns for them. So the first one that I bought was Tiny Modernist. This is called Midnight Ocean. So cute. I already have an idea on when I'm going to start this one. It probably won't be until next year, and I'll go over that in life as to why, but I think this one will come with me somewhere. The next one I bought was Blueberry Ridge, which I've never stitched anything by them, but I saw this and was like, I have to have it. Cause sea turtle. So this is Sea Turtle Cove. I thought this one was really cute. So again, Blueberry Ridge designs. I don't know that I will turn it into a pillow, but I would probably stitch it and just do a small frame of it somewhere. The next one that I bought is an ink circles. It's my first ink circles. Y'all, I'm just like branching out all over the place here. My first ink circles only because I just haven't found an ink circles that I've loved. Like there are some out there that I love seeing stitch, but I'm like, I don't know that I'm stitching. But this one is so cute. It's called Gone Fishing. Gone Fishing. So cute. And then this one is by Holly Freeman. And this is called Tentacles Below. So yeah. And then I wasn't even in our like Zoom chat with all of my Hufflepuffs and like people that were in this retreat, and I wasn't even there for like 10 minutes on the first day, and immediately was enabled, immediately went and added to cart, and then just kept my cart open all weekend for other things that I had to have. And some people were talking about Silver Creek Sea Employers Banner of Benevolence. So I went and I looked it up, and it said, and if you're not familiar with it, I'll just read you what the pattern says. And it's words. I love stitching words. I know some people don't, but I do. I don't know why, but it's fast. Sarah does all the things. She was working on this, I think, during the retreat. I still need her thread conversion because it was real like rich and I really liked it. So it says, all people have value, beliefs are personal, rights are universal, peace begins with a smile, there is beauty and strength in diversity. The strength of a community lies within the unity of its neighbors. Freedom exists only if it applies to everyone. The world is full of friends we have yet to meet. Our differences make us beautiful. Choose to be curious, not judgmental. We can all strive to be better human beings. Kindness is free and love will always win. So I'm not much of a patriotic stitcher, but I will actually do this one as a patriotic stitch, because I just feel like this is really, this is the world I want to live in. And so I will do this as a patriotic stitch. So that's it for what I bought from 123 Stitch. And then I bought technically 3 patterns. And I will show those to you now. So the first pattern that I bought was from Sisky Stitches. She is charting her own stitches, or her own patterns now. And I'm looking down because I'm just trying to find it. And so yeah, so she's making through AI, but she is making patterns, and I saw this one and I was like, this is so cute. It's 400 by 500. It's 229 colors. I put it into markup already, and the mock-up on this, Sisky nailed it. It looks so good. It's Candy Dragon. It's so cute. The reason why I got this one, first of all, I was looking for a decent dragon pattern that I fell in love with, and I have a major sweet tooth. I am type 2 diabetic for a reason. I have to go to the gym for a reason. I'm like cupcakes, candies, chocolate. Yeah, I have a major sweet tooth. So I was like, it's me. And a dragon. So that's why I ended up getting that one. And then if you watched Stitches with Mel, and if you saw Dizzy, she finished Dizzy, which is her dog that she had custom charted by Cross Stitch for Everyone by Missy. And if you don't watch her, go check her out. And so I decided to reach out to Missy, and she was actually having a sale on her custom charts, and I asked her to do one for Diva, because as I said, it is so hard to find a project with a Great Dane on it. So I was like, let's see how this comes out. So I sent her a bunch of pictures of Diva, and pretty much almost cried when she sent this back to me. That is my Diva girl. To a T. All her spots, her purple collar. She is my couch potato. I wish we had a window that looked like that, but that's fine. Like, her favorite, her soft fuzzy blankets are her favorite. Literally, they're all over our couch. She's like laying on one right now. After this video, I'll try to take a picture so I can insert it so you can see. But that's our Diva girl for sure. She is our 6-year-old Great Dane. And she sent me 2 of them, 2 different options, and I love both of them, so I bought both of them. Just like the one on the couch, and I like this one. Yeah, so because it's like mountains and sunset, and it's kind of like where we live, right? So I may or may not have started Diva this weekend. I'm not going to show it, but I did put in 500 stitches, the couch one, because I want to make sure that I get that one done, because that is Jess's favorite one. And when I showed it to the rest of the family, they were like, that 100% is Diva. So yeah, I started that one, and it so far looks great. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. So that one will probably be a focus as well. I think, the only other haul that I have is, so a while back, I did order the re-release of The Lady of the Flag and Queen of Freedom from Mirabilia. And I ordered it from Jen, which is What Are You Doing Studio on Etsy. And ordered the bead packs, and which took forever. They got back ordered. I think that they had a lot of people interested that I don't know, they just were not. So, you know, the Mill Hill beads were also back ordered a lot. So those came in. I don't know when I'm going to start these. I just have them in stash now. I am working on Princess Ileana, and I am only allowing myself to have one fancy lady, Mirabilia, on the go. So yeah, I don't know when I'll start it, because I have several other Miras that I want to start as well. So I think that is it for sure for stitching stuff. I'm going to jump into just a little bit of life. There's not a lot going on. It's summer. It is hot. I apparently have dog hair all over me now. It's hot in Denver. And we're in a really bad drought. And so, I mean, the whole entire western side of the US is on fire at this point. We're all in the same boat. It's hot, and we've had no rain. Our winter was so dry. I know I've said that in past videos, but it was bad. It's bad. And right now it's very smoky outside. I stepped outside earlier to go let the dogs out, and I was like, it is basically like walking in front of a campfire. We are supposed to hit, I think we've had several days in the last week that we've hit like 103. And today I think we're supposed to get up over 100. And it's not supposed to rain until maybe midweek. We had a little bit of a cold front push through a couple days ago. It lasted for about a day and a half. It was glorious. It was like in the it was like lower 80s. I stepped outside one morning and it was like 56 degrees outside. I was like, hello, fall. I'm so ready. I don't know. There's rumors of an El Nino this year. We'll see if that comes to fruition and if we actually get any snow from that. I'm not a big fan of snow. I bought a new car a couple months ago, and so just thinking about having to learn to drive that in the snow is also, and how it handles also, is not something I'm looking forward to. However, we need the snow so bad that we'll deal with it. As I mentioned, Jess went to Hong Kong for work. I begged and pleaded to go with her because I've only ever been to Europe and Canada and Jamaica, so I haven't really been a lot of places, and I've definitely never been to Asia. But she was just going to be working the entire time, so she's like, let me go, I'll scope it out. It was her first time too. She sent some pictures, and it rained a lot. She actually flew through Super Typhoon Dolphin on the way out, because I may or may not have stalked her on Flight Tracker. And so she flew through it in the middle of the ocean on the way out, and then on her way back, so she left at like, I don't know, 10:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time yesterday, August 7th, which is actually, it's a 14-hour time difference, so it was actually Saturday morning or Saturday midday that she left in Hong Kong. And she flew kind of up and over. Normally they just fly out and you just head directly east, and I mean over the ocean, and you get to her connections, and her port of entry is in California. And so they actually flew up and went over like Shanghai and Tokyo and like skirted South Korea, and then over, so you can kind of see the jagged where they were like missing kind of like storm squalls. Her and her boss left at the same time. Her boss took a different airline, and that airline, I think, chose violence. They flew directly straight across the super typhoon, like directly right across the eye of the storm. So I'm going to guess that was a pretty bumpy flight for a while. So she should be landing in LA in a few hours, and I'm very excited. She's been gone for about a week. I know that Diva is Jess's Diva's person. So that she and I am like the spare human. Like, she would prefer Jess, our daughter, and then me. So, but we've managed. But I know she's gonna lose her mind when she gets home. And then work is work is work. Not really a whole lot to go into there that I can talk about, but it's just been a summer. It's been a decent summer for work. And then we booked a trip. So y'all know we like our trips, and we book out fairly early for our big trips. So next year is a big birthday for my wife. I will not say how old she'll be, 50. And so she has been saying for years that she is going to, that she wants to do the Alaska cruise for her birthday, for her 50th. And so now, with her grandma and grandpa both being gone, and my mother-in-law not having to go to Buffalo and take care of them frequently, and kind of things are settling there with kind of getting all of the pieces kind of closed up and tied up and the house sold and stuff like that, my mother-in-law has a little bit more time. And so we reached out to my mother-in-law and to Jess's aunt that lives in Buffalo, and asked if they wanted to join us, because they have said for a really long time that they also wanted to do the trip as well. And so I was at a really contested court hearing, and I got a text message, a group chat that said Alaska or bust. So Jess we finally pulled the trigger. She made a decision on what cruise line she wanted to use. So we're gonna go out on Holland America. It'll be July of 2027. And it'll be us, the kids, my mother-in-law, and an aunt. And Jess got us 2 smaller suites with balconies, and we're on the starboard side, I believe. This will only be our second cruise, my second cruise. so we will do, I think we go out of Vancouver, and then, which I've never been to Vancouver, so I'm excited about that. And then we are just doing the north. So we're just going north. So, we will do, I think I have all the ports. I don't know what days or anything like that, but we will do Skagway, we will do Ketchikan, we will do Juneau. We are doing the Inside Pass, so Glacier Bay. And then I know that we get off in Whittier. And in Whittier, we then take a bus, like a shuttle, to Anchorage. And then in Anchorage, we get on the Glass Dome train and we train into Denali. I will always call it Denali. I know that somebody decided that they needed to change it to Fort McKinley, but it is always going to be Denali to me. And so we train into Denali. And we are in Denali for 3 days. And then we will go and fly out of Fairbanks. So it's about a week and a half. And I'm looking forward to whale watching, seeing the glaciers, eating some king crab. If y'all haven't seen the king crab, go Google it. It's a thing. And I am a meat eater, so I'm very excited about that. The kids just went in end of June, I think, and did it was a real short little 7-day one. And they went whale watching and definitely said it was the highlight of their trip and definitely would do it again. So we're going to do that for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited. So we're heading to Alaska. That's what I was saying. Maybe that, whale pattern, this one, Midnight Ocean, might be my Alaska, because it has a whale. So that might be my Alaska to go project. Other than that, I think that's it. I've been prattling on for like an hour and a half now, and I need to clean up, go get something to eat, finish cleaning up the house so Jess doesn't come home to chaos, and maybe get some stitching in. Yeah. I hope you all have a great weekend, a great rest of August. We'll see how much I get in. I might come back sooner. I just like coming back kind of like once a month just because the videos are a little bit longer, but I don't know if y'all would prefer that I come back every 2 weeks, even though I only might have like 2 or 3 projects to show and the video probably would be pretty short. I can do that. Just let me know if that's what you would prefer, if you prefer the longer videos. And let me know what y'all are working on, because, you know, as I said, pattern buying and stitching are 2 separate things. So I would love to be enabled and at least maybe put some things on my wish list that maybe I haven't seen before. Yeah. I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one. Happy stitching. Bye.